coordination effort out of each of the EMA offices so that people can say, hey, I'm okay, but I'll come and help out, tell me what to do and where to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right now, that really isn't in place, is it?
No, it's not. You know, I've lived in places because I spent 26 and a half years in the Air Force. I've lived places across the country that other kinds of disasters are more prevalent. You know, they have different kinds of laws. Like the sheriff down in Washington County told me Sunday morning, because I asked him, I said, do you have any kind of anti-gouging laws, you know, in Ohio? You know, to make sure, because I had heard a rumor that a local store jacked the price of their generators up, you know, significantly after the storm passed. And he said, well, he said, we do. And he told me the story of a family who had a tree fall on their house, and a tree company came by and quoted them $5,000 to do an $800 job. And the sheriff had a very nice and polite conversation with the proprietor and said, go ahead and charge the $5,000 and we'll be coming to talk to you after you cash the check. So I assume that there are anti-gouging laws, but if there aren't, they certainly should be.
Or be enforced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this would even fit with service stations.
Yeah.
You know, out here we've got 20 cents more a gallon for gas than you have on Southgate Parkway.
Yeah. Yeah.
20 cents. And normally it isn't that big of a gap, but they jacked that up a couple days ago. They're still down on Southgate Parkway.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of this, you know.
First to go up and last to come down.
That's right.
Good point. Good point.
That's Speedway.
We just came from Methodist Church because we were helping the Kiwanis move their daycare center stuff because it's completely destroyed.
Right.
So we were moving that, but I understand that church has the peak of it, or of thing, and you can see the sky from it, and I'm not sure whether that church is going to be saved or not. So that's iffy on that, but it's a shame.
Yeah. But you know something, the people of eastern and southeastern Ohio, we're resilient people, we're strong people. We'll weather this, we'll get through this. This is America. We know how to persevere. We know how to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps and put it back together. We've always done that, and we'll do it this time.
Teach our kids the same thing in the next generation and the next after that, because I see the difference in the generations already where some kids don't want to teach anything.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
Starts by setting an example, and that's what you folks are doing. That's what we have to continue doing.
Our money eligibility hinges on whether it was straight line or twister, is that correct?
I'm sorry, sir?
Our money eligibility,
True.
whether it was a straight line wind event or if it was a tornado?
You know, I don't know. Let's ask
Has that
that.
been determined yet?
I don't know. I'll find out.
I understand that it has, and we would have substantial monies available from the Fed if it was a twister. Of the straight line wind.
Oh, it was a twister.
I am not.
Tell them just ask me.
I am not a meteorologist. I'm not a meteorologist. But I know when you walk down that street over there where the church was hit, and you see the clocks that were sucked out of that tower, I know what does that. It's called a vacuum being created. And I know what creates a vacuum. A twister creates a vacuum. So, but I'm not a meteorologist, so I don't know.
I think that was just because nobody really saw a twister, so I'll go and I'll say, I saw it.
I think right now the official word is it's not a tornado, it was straight line. I'm not a...
I know, but they're doing...
I didn't see the one that hit that mobile home I was in either.
Again, I think the forensic workup that's done afterwards would actually reconstruct what kind of winds and so forth created the damage, if they really wanted to. But they want to have that easy way out, you know. Did somebody actually get on film, a funnel cloud?
That's interesting that there would be a difference between straight line or tornado, because if you look at the damage, who cares?
Well, Chief, we'll ask that question and we'll get you some feedback.
85-mile-an-hour winds, whether it's going straight or spinning, it's still 85-mile-an-hour winds.
But I did hear the thing about the insurance companies too, paying more on a twister than straight line winds.
All the money.
I wasn't aware of that, but we'll certainly ask that question.
That's a good question.
You always think you got insurance till you go to use it.
Other questions?
How about just an idea, we've been getting so much mail to the house for solicitations of funds and so forth from different organizations and all that. And I get so, yesterday I think I got 10 in one day of different ones.
In the midst of all of this.
Yes. The point is, the one that struck me the best was Ann Romney's. It was a 1.5-page letter. And I looked at that and I thought, I can read a 1.5 pages. Not 6 pages back and front, back and front. So that made more sense to me
Yeah.
than some of the other ones. So it's just a suggestion, if you're out and doing something, keep it short. People don't want to read all this stuff.
The KISS principle works really well, doesn't
Right.
it?
And the other thing is too, is I'm getting this, and I'm a devout Republican,
Well,
as much as I can be, okay?
registered and evidence of voting in a certain way. Why are we wasting time,
Why?
political money, funds, to contact people that are already in the bank?
This is the wire.
Those are not taxpayer funds, and they're not.
No,
they're-
no.
Yeah.
But
But
I'm
still,
saying, you
we
need
still-
money to operate and send it to people that you're trying to educate about your message.
Yeah.
And it does seem kind of silly.
Well, at some point, there's a process called voter identification.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, at some point, and Rachel maybe can explain this better than I can, they do identify a person based on their most likely the way that they're going to vote. And they then make determinations of who to send things out to. I can't tell you that I know the science behind determining who's on the list and who's not on the list.
I should really be on that.
Hopefully you will never get anything from me that insults you, or if you do, please call my office and let me know. Yes, Jim?
Marlene had an interesting phone call yesterday I'll pass on to all of you. The first question was, do you plan to vote for Obama or Romney? And she answered that emphatically. And the second question was, do you plan to vote for Representative Bill Johnson or Charlie Wilson? And then the third question was, do you definitely plan to vote for Bill Johnson or Charlie Wilson? And by the time she answered that emphatically, the phone went dead. So it was somebody out of Indiana.
I will tell you that I don't know where that's coming from. If I knew, I would tell you. Somebody's conducting a poll. Somebody's obviously conducting a poll. It is not my team that's conducting that poll. We have the information that we need, and that wasn't me. And plus, if we were going to conduct a poll, we certainly would not be calling people when they're experiencing these kinds of problems.
Well, I don't think you'd hang up either if you
Not if you answered the question the way I wanted you to.
I had that phone call 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
I had it 3 times about why did Bill Johnson vote this way? You should call and ask him, and if you do not want this message again, go to www. And I thought, yeah, right. So of course that got a little click.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to continue to vote the values and the needs and the concerns of the people of the 6th District of Ohio. That's what I've done so far. That's what I'm going to keep doing. And that you can depend on. Any other questions?
He's got one.
So when are we
Yes, he wants to know, when are we leaving?
Bill, I know you were here on Sunday looking around and coming back again today. I just, on behalf of the community, I want to thank you for, even though you're not representing us as of yet, thank you for being involved and being around and being concerned.
Well, you're more than welcome. You know, I learned in my Air Force career, there's a lot to be said with just rolling up your sleeves and getting in, and that's the way I do business. I'm sure Bob is out doing the same thing in other places, and I will pass on to him that I spoke with you folks, and if there's anything that you need. You know, one thing I didn't do was, you know, we normally start off by introducing everybody in the room, but I did want you all to meet my wife, Leanne. Some of you met her when we came and spoke at the Lincoln Day dinner a while back. My son Nathan, who is quick to tell me how bored he is. He gets tired of hearing Dad's speeches all the time. He could probably give them, but they are real troopers in all of this. The effort to not only represent our district, but to get America back on the right track.
Keep trying to get things in the Jeffersonian. Keep plugging away. We need as much information in there as possible.
There are a lot of issues. You know, it's taken us many years to get in this mess. We didn't get in it overnight. We're not going to get out of it overnight. But I can tell you that you've got others like me who are trying to take that fight and continue it. And this November is going to be a very important election for America. Okay, folks. Well, I appreciate it. You got any individual questions?